Proverbs 9:10 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." As leaders, this fear can make all the difference. I'm Drew Davis, and it's 113 days till my 50th birthday. Between now and then, I'm on a mission to see more people stepping up to love their neighbors and chase their God-given dreams. So what does this fear thing have to do with you as a leader? And for that, let me share a story from John Bevere. In the early 90s, Jim Bakker had the largest ministry in the world, and yet somehow fell into enough sin to be sentenced to 45 years in prison. And in the fourth year of his sentence, that was eventually reduced to 5 years, Jim reached out to John Bevere and asked if he would visit him in prison. John said, sure. And when he meets Jim, this is what Jim tells John. This prison wasn't God's judgment on my life. It was his mercy. He said, John, if I would have kept living the way I was living, I would have ended up in hell forever. And I'm forever grateful to God for this experience. So John asks him, when did you fall out of love with Jesus? Now listen to this response that Jim gave. I didn't. He said, I loved him all the way through it. How could this guy say this with so much sin in his life? He said, I didn't just fear God. I loved him. I didn't fear him. We live in a world full of leaders who are Christians, just like Jim. We love Jesus, but we don't fear God. In Exodus 20:20, Moses said to the people, do not be afraid. God has come to test you so that the fear of God will be with you to keep you from sinning. Being afraid is being scared of God. Like Adam, when he sinned, he had something to hide. This is not what the fear of God is. Instead, the fear of the Lord is the fear of ever being separated from God. He wants us to be so connected to him, any separation scares us. Is the dream that you're chasing what God loves? Is your heart breaking for the things that break his heart? Why do I want to see you loving your neighbor? Because that is God's heart. That brings me closer to God. What he is saying isn't that we should be scared and get away from God, but we should be scared of being away from God. The fear of the Lord is my strength. When we are chasing his heart, amazing things start to happen in chasing our own dreams.